Hello there and welcome back. The motif has rounded up some of the best F1 nail-biting moments from the last 70 years. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. 1956, with Juan Manuel Fangio, the victor at Monza. The Temple of Speed played host to the final round of 1956 with 3 drivers. Ferrari's Juan Manuel Fangio and Peter Collins, and Maserati's Jean Berra, all in with a chance of taking the title. Berra retired with a magneto failure, while Fangio's hopes of a 4th crown looked shot to pieces when he pulled in at the pits with a broken steering arm. But then, in an extraordinary gesture of sportsmanship, Collins handed over his own healthy Ferrari D50 to the Argentinian, after teammate Luigi Musso had declined to do the same, allowing Fangio to get back out there, finish second to Stirling Moss, and claim the crown. That was a fantastic gesture, Fangio would recall later of Collins' actions. I threw my arms around him and kissed him. After that, I finished second to Moss, and that was enough. 1976, with James Hunt the victor at Fuji Speedway. In a season so extraordinary, it even captured Hollywood's imagination. We've all seen Ron Howard's Rush by now, right? The scarcely believable 1976 championship battle between Niki Lauda and James Hunt went right down to the wire at the 1976 Japanese Grand Prix held at Fuji. Lauda, nursing the 2-month-old scars earned in his sickening German Grand Prix crash at Nürburgring, took one look at the monsoon-like conditions facing the drivers as the race got underway and decided he wanted no further part in it, parking up his Ferrari on lap 2. Hunt still had to earn himself 4 points to be champion though, and looked to have lost that chance when his tyre suffered a puncture, but after pitting for fresh rubber, an inspired recovery drive to P3 behind winner Mario Andretti was enough, with Hunt telling the media sportingly afterwards, "I wanted to win the championship, and I felt I deserved it. But I also felt Niki deserved to win the championship, and I just wish we could have shared it." 1994, with Michael Schumacher the victor in Adelaide. 1994 was a season that left a bad taste in most people's mouths, with rancor both on and off track, as well as most tragically the deaths of 2 drivers, 3-time champion Ayrton Senna and Austrian racer Roland Ratzenberger, killed within a day of each other at Imola. In a perverse way, it was fitting then that the title fight between Williams' Damon Hilland and Benetton's Michael Schumacher should be settled in an unsavoury way too. Hill had driven out of his skin to beat Schumacher in a torrential Suzuka 2-parter to put himself a point behind his German rival going into the final round in Adelaide. There though, Schumacher was leading Hill comfortably when he slewed off the track at the East Terrace corner on lap 36 of 81 before slewing back onto it and pulling sharply across Hill's bows, as the Williams driver tried to drive up the inside into the next corner. Schumacher was dramatically tipped onto 2 wheels and out of the race. But Hill's suspension was unsalvageable. The Englishman retired to hand Schumacher his maiden title by a point. 1997, with Jacques Villeneuve the victor at Circuito de Jerez. 3 years after Adelaide, and Michael Schumacher again found himself embroiled in more title showdown controversy, this one with more serious consequences. Spain's Jerez's circuit, hosted by the season finale in 1997, with Williams' Jacques Villeneuve trailing Schumacher by a point heading into the weekend. The German searching for his 3rd title and a first for Ferrari since Jody Scheckter's 1979 triumph. Qualifying already signalled that this was going to be a weekend less ordinary, as 3 drivers, Schumacher, Villeneuve, and Villeneuve's teammate, Heinz-Harald Frentzen, posted the same lap time of 1 minute 21.072 seconds, with Villeneuve taking pole by dint of setting his lap first. But the crux moment came on lap 48 of the race, as Villeneuve threw a move up the inside of Schumacher. The German appeared to open the door, but then shut it again sharply, ricocheting off the Williams and into the gravel. There he became lodged as Villeneuve drove on to finish third and claim the title that his father, Gilles, never managed to claim himself. 2008 with Lewis Hamilton the victor at Interlagos. Is that a Glock? An unlikely meme, but one that perfectly echoed the shocked reaction of F1 fans around the globe to the extraordinary final lap of the 2008 Brazilian Grand Prix. A year on from his title loss to Kimi Raikkonen at the same track, Lewis Hamilton headed to Brazil with a healthy 7-point lead over Ferrari's Felipe Massa. Remember, we're in the period of 10 points for a win, 8 for a P2 here. Massa drove an exemplary race, leading 64 out of the 71 laps and claiming his second ever home win. But a late switch to Inters appears to have cost Hamilton as he struggled in the final laps, dropping behind Toro Rosso's Sebastian Vettel to P6 with 4 laps to go, where his 3 points to Massa's 10 wouldn't be enough for the title. But with literally a corner to go and the rain increasing, Toyota's dry tyre-shod Timo Glock slowed, hence Brundle's startled cry of, "Is that a Glock?" Hamilton gratefully zipping past to claim P5, 4 points, and the first of his 7 titles. So far. 2012 with Sebastian Vettel the victor at Interlagos. Back to Interlagos and another unlikely recovery drive that led to title glory. 2 years on from beating Fernando Alonso and Hamilton and Mark Webber to his first championship in Abu Dhabi, Sebastian Vettel and Alonso faced off for a second time at the 2012 Brazilian Grand Prix. Vettel was 13 points clear ahead of the showdown. We're now in 21 points win era, but everything went to pieces at the start, as Webber unhelpfully crowded his teammate, who was then spun around by Williams' Bruno Senna at turn 4. Alonso did what he could at the front, jumping from P6 on the grid to finish second to McLaren's Jenson Button. But after dropping to 22nd and suffering damage to his car in the Senna crash, Vettel drove a miraculous recovery drive in changeable conditions to finish 6th, earning himself his 3rd title. 2016 with Nico Rosberg the victor in Abu Dhabi. And so, to the last time Hamilton faced a title rival at the season finale back in 2016, and at the same Yas Marina circuit where he'll duel with Verstappen this weekend. Back then, the rival in question was Mercedes teammate Nico Rosberg, who'd made hay by winning the first 4 races of the season, only for Hamilton to win 6 of the next 8. Verstappen partially interrupting that run with his maiden win in Spain as Hamilton and Rosberg crashed into each other and out of the race. Hamilton's engine dramatically letting it go in Malaysia was a decisive moment in that year's title fight, meaning that Rosberg led by 12 points heading to Abu Dhabi. Agonizingly for Hamilton, having boldly passed Verstappen's Red Bull for P2, Rosberg was then content to just sit aft of his teammates, race-leading Mercedes W07 all the way to the end. Hamilton unsuccessfully attempting to back his teammate into Sebastian Vettel's 3rd-place Ferrari before eventually conceding defeat. Rosberg claimed the title, matching the feat of his father, Keke, before abruptly retiring from the sport 5 days later. So that's all for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you sticking around, and we will catch you soon.